Have you ever heard someone describe themselves as a Type A personality? As you'll soon discover, this self-classification is actually typical Type A behavior. But what does this really mean? And how do personality types fit into the broader field of personality psychology? In this video, I'm going to explore the different personality types and explain how certain traits can influence both your behavior and your physical health. Understanding your personality type might help you prepare for various situations and set yourself on a path toward the success you're seeking. The main personality types. There are two primary personality types that researchers originally identified: Type A and Type B. These categories provide a fascinating framework for understanding how different people approach life's challenges. Type A personality. Type A personality is incredibly easy to spot. People with this personality type are driven to be high achievers. They constantly push themselves to be the absolute best at whatever they do. Type A personalities tend to be extremely competitive, even if they're just competing against their own previous accomplishments. When given a task, they immediately create a thorough, detailed plan and follow it meticulously until they reach their goal. For example, if someone with a Type A personality is tasked with planning a vacation, they'll have every minute detail of the itinerary organized well before it's time to board the plane. They'll know exactly which attractions they'll visit, where they'll eat, how they'll get from place to place, and even have backup plans in case something goes wrong. When we look at the big five personality traits, people with Type A personalities typically score higher on conscientiousness. They're organized and detail-oriented, but lower on agreeableness. They can be more critical and less accommodating. By now, you've probably already figured out whether you have a Type A personality. Does this sound like you? Are you the person who color codes your calendar and feels uncomfortable without a clear plan? Type B personality. Type B is often simply described as non-Type A. A person with a Type B personality exhibits characteristics that are essentially opposite to those of Type A individuals. Type B personalities aren't as concerned with being the best or finishing first. Rather than powering straight toward an end goal, people with Type B personalities might prefer to explore different possibilities and various ways to achieve the same result. For the Type B personality, life is about the journey rather than the destination. If you ask someone with a Type B personality to plan a trip, they might have a few key activities in mind, but they're more likely to say they'll play it by ear and figure things out as they go. They embrace spontaneity and are comfortable with a loose structure. You might be thinking that the Type B life sounds pretty stress-free, and you'd be right. This difference in stress levels actually made a huge impact on the initial research into Type A and Type B personalities. The physical effects of personality types. The theory of the two original personality types wasn't developed by psychologists. It was actually created by two cardiologists named Myers-Briggs and Ray Rosenman in the 1950s. While Type A and Type B personalities play a significant role in modern personality psychology, Friedman and Rosenman weren't initially interested in changing the landscape of psychology. Their primary concern was heart disease. When people are working on a project, encouragement or coaching can trigger physical reactions. One of these reactions is called cardiac reactivity, which increases your heart rate. For example, phrases like "work faster" or "come on, I know you can try harder" might increase your heart rate when said with kindness. For people with Type A personalities, not only is their heart rate more likely to increase in response to such encouragement, but it also tends to increase at a higher rate compared to Type B individuals. Friedman and Rosenman's research went even further. In their initial research about personality types, they claimed that Type A personalities were more likely to suffer heart attacks. Why? Because the stress of having a Type A personality, where everything must be perfect and meticulously planned, can take a serious toll on your cardiovascular health. They published their initial findings back in 1950, and personality psychology has evolved significantly since then. In fact, two additional personality types have been added to the roster that could potentially cause health problems. Type D personality. Type D personality traits exist outside the realm of Type A or Type B. Even when faced with a challenging task, a person with a Type A personality will still meticulously plan and organize themselves with the determination to complete it. People with Type B personalities approach big tasks with a more relaxed attitude, assuming things will work out in the end. People with Type D personalities, however, are unlikely to believe they can accomplish the task in the first place. The D stands for distress. Individuals with type D personalities are much more likely to be pessimistic, speak negatively about themselves, and feel hopeless about their prospects. This negativity can cause stress and physical problems very similar to those experienced by people with type A personalities. Research shows that people with type D personalities are more likely to experience coronary artery disease, a weakened immune system, or chronic inflammation. What I found particularly interesting is that these physical manifestations closely resemble the effects of a pessimistic mindset, as described in Martin Seligman's book, Learned Optimism. While type A personalities might experience health issues due to constant pressure and perfectionism, type D personalities suffer from the physical toll of chronic negativity and hopelessness. Type T personality. While type D personalities might be inclined to stay home and mope, people with type T personalities are probably too busy snowboarding or bungee jumping to worry about much of anything. The final personality type that has gained popularity in recent years is the type T personality. People with this type are thrill seekers who actively pursue high-risk experiences. These risks could include the possibility of physical harm, like mountain climbing or skydiving, or they could involve the risk of living without a steady income, as is the case with many artists, entrepreneurs, or gamblers. Unlike type A and type D personalities, people with type T personalities aren't necessarily at a higher risk for specific heart problems, at least none that researchers have identified yet. However, their thrill-seeking tendencies come with inherent risks of their own. The adrenaline rush they crave can lead them into objectively dangerous situations that others would avoid. What this means for you. So what does all of this mean for you? What personality type do you identify with? The answers are usually fairly obvious, especially if you're self-aware. There are also numerous online tests you can take to determine which type best fits your personality and lifestyle. If you identify as a type A or type D personality, you might want to consider reaching out to a healthcare professional to learn more about ways to manage your risk of heart disease and other health complications. Healthy habits like positive self-talk, mindfulness practices, or regular exercise can significantly reduce stress and help maintain heart health. It's important to remember that no personality type is inherently better than others. Each comes with its own strengths and challenges. The key is understanding your natural tendencies so you can leverage your strengths and develop strategies to address potential health risks or behavioral patterns that might not serve you well. For type A personalities, this might mean intentionally building relaxation time into their schedules and practicing letting go of perfectionism. For type D personalities, cognitive behavioral techniques to challenge negative thinking patterns could be beneficial. Type B personalities might benefit from occasionally setting more structured goals, while Type T personalities might need to find healthy outlets for their thrill-seeking tendencies. If you enjoyed this exploration of personality types, be sure to check out other videos in our psychology series here on Incredi Path. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you gained valuable insights from this video. See you in the next one.